fingerprinting, then I examined the item, but I didn't write down exactly how many pieces of glass were present. I just took a photo.
And as you sit here, you don't recall
Why would you write it down?
How many pieces you took off that bumper?
Correct. And the quality of the photo does not allow me to see that at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that photo. With the court's permission, this is Exhibit 168. Can we
Why would you write down how many pieces there were? Why would you write that down? You're only the lab tech. Come on.
Zooming in at this point, and I would ask you, Ms. Hartnett, do you recognize this photo? It's zoomed a little bit. Do you still recognize it?
Yes, I do.
Is that a photograph that you caused to be taken at the Sally Port on February 1st, 2022?
I believe it was February 2nd, right? Did we, or it's February 1st now? We agreed it's February 1st. My apologies. Yes, on February 1st, I did request that photo be taken of the apparent pieces of glass.
Okay. And I know you can't see necessarily every piece. Can you use your laser pointer and point to a piece?
Sure.
Got it. So that's the largest of the pieces, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And it's correct that none of these pieces of apparent glass were embedded in the bumper. They weren't dug in, stuck into that hard plastic, correct?
No, I do not have that. I do not have that notation that they were embedded, just they were on the bumper.
As a matter of fact, they were physically perched on top of that hard plastic horizontal bumper, correct?
To my recollection, they were just sitting on the bumper, yes.
Okay. And do you know, just in your experience, and if we could leave this up for just a moment while I ask the next couple of questions, Your Honor? Okay. Do you know where Dighton, Massachusetts is?
I know the general area.
How far would you say that is from Canton?
I don't know, maybe a half an hour. I'm not exactly sure.
Do your notes indicate that the vehicle was recovered from Dighton and towed back to Canton and placed in the Sally Port before you started your examination?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Okay. So if Dighton is, how far would you say Dighton is from Canton?
Again, I'm really guessing. I would say maybe a half an hour.
30 miles?
It's a long way.
I don't know exactly. I was never in Dighton.
Okay. So
it's a long way.
according to your notes, the glass pieces that we're looking at on the back of this bumper would have traveled, let's call it for round figures, about 60 miles in a blizzard before you saw them.
I don't know when the glass pieces were ended up on the bumper, so I couldn't say.
And of course, you knew that on February 1st, you knew a few days earlier, on the 29th, there had been a pretty significant snowstorm here in Massachusetts, correct?
Yes, I did have that information.
And that blizzard included high winds, freezing rain, snow, all the good stuff with a blizzard, correct?
I don't recall the exact weather conditions of the blizzard.
But irrespective,
What was the weather conditions blizzard like? Was the blizzard like?
after all of that, whatever that was, you saw these 5 pieces just sitting perched on the top of the bumper, not embedded in any way, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
And you recovered those with little bitty tweezers, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is important because we didn't have to use any sort of particular force, right? We just used standard tweezers. We were just able to pick them up, with absolutely no effort because they're just small little tweezers, and pick them up with absolutely no effort. So, yeah, I'm kind of with the incredulousness here of the defense lawyer. It's like, okay, let me make sure I got this straight. This car was towed, let's say it was 30 minutes. And let's say it was 60 miles. Okay, and it was towed. And it was towed in a storm, a blizzard. And these are apparently the little pieces of glass that could. These are little pieces of glass that could, man. They are just hanging on for dear life, man. They will not be dissuaded. They will not be stopped. They're much like the Terminator. It can't be stopped. It can't be bargained with. And it will never, ever stop coming for you. Much like the Terminator, these pieces of glasses are here for it. And they like this piece of bumper, man. They like it so much that despite, the car crash itself and the moving of the car onto the tow truck and the tow truck itself, moving and vibrating on the road as one does. Plus, of course, the blizzard with the high winds and everything, man. This piece of glass just sitting on the bumper the whole time, man. It's here for the ride. This is a little piece of glass that could, man. Wow. All right, sure. Let's go with that.
You testified on direct examination that you also found a hair on that rear panel, the quarter panel of the car, correct?
Yes, at the time of the scene, I noted it was an apparent hair, correct?
And
Okay.
the apparent hair, and I'll try to use that same word, I keep forgetting, you'll correct me. That apparent hair was not sitting on the horizontal bumper, but on a vertical portion of the quarter panel, correct?
That's correct.
This is the little
Did
hair
you
that
find
could.
the hair, or was that?
This is the little hair that could. Then also it's not sitting horizontally, it's sitting vertically. It is sitting on the tailgate. So it is sitting on the tailgate, just sitting there, 60 miles, wind, blizzard, everything. It is the little hair that could. These inspirational tales should be told to children. You can make it no matter what, man. You can make it through the worst of things. Cool.
Hair pointed out to you by somebody else.
I believe I located the hair.
How exactly was that hair secured to that vertical panel, if you can explain that?
It didn't appear to be secured in any way. It was just on that quarter panel.
Yep.
So it wasn't taped,
Nope.
No,
it wasn't glued,
Nope.
no,
wasn't stapled.
Nope.
no.
It was not affixed in any way whatsoever. It was just
The sheer
perched
power of
on that
will.
vertical panel of the SUV, correct?
That's correct.
And
The
for
sheer
you to
raw
remove
power
it-
of determination.
And by the way, you found this at the same time that you found the general time that you found the glass pieces as well.
That's correct.
So that hair potentially would have had to make that same 60-mile round trip
Yeah.
in the same blizzard.
Yeah.
At the time, I don't know when that hair was deposited on the vehicle.
There's not a lot of possibilities, man.
And it didn't take you much to remove that hair, correct?
I picked it up with a pair of tweezers.
Of course you
Did it give
did.
Any resistance?
Not that I recall.
Yeah. 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 Just another hair and
I'd like to take
glass
a
are
look
here
at
for the
that
journey,
hair,
man.
if we can.
I will note that apparently this person thought to mark the thing in some way. I'm assuming that this white card is some sort of mark that they do to mark an exhibit and also to provide a frame of reference for size because it's a known thing. And unlike the solo cups from earlier, this person actually thought to, mark something so that it would be more easily determinable about what it is. So I'll take note that they've got that going for them. So that's a nice touch.
All right, we're looking at what's previously been marked as 165. Does that appear to be a photo of the hair?
Would it be possible just to zoom in on that,
Absolutely.
the
This is not an
sticker?
eye contest.
And just a little bit, I'm just trying to read the letter on the white marker. Yes, so that, correct.
So that hair looks, as we're looking at it, you will agree, that hair looks like almost like a backward C, correct? In other words, it looks like it's more vertical than flat in that photograph, correct?
I would agree it looks like a C on the side of the car.
If you go to exhibit 173, and this is the same hair photographed a second time, correct?
If we could, again, just zoom in on that sticker.
That does kind of look a little
Yes,
bit
that's
different.
correct.
Ms. Hartnett, does it look to you like between the first and the second photographs, that hair has moved?
It looks different to me.
It's no longer an inverted C, but a C.
Well, I think more to the point about whether or not they're different or not. So there's really only two possibilities here, and neither are really great for the state. Okay? There are two possibilities. One is that the hair is different between the two photos. Okay? The photos depict different things, in which case the hair is somehow changed, which is not necessarily ideal because they put it into the Sally port, it was under a controlled environment, and the hair has somehow changed. So that's possibility number one. The hair has changed, which might suggest malfeasance by the state. The other possibility, which is arguably worse for the state in some senses, is that they're not different and it depicts the exact same thing with just a different angle. But in some senses, that's worse because in that second shot, it's very clear that the ends of the hair are not touching the bumper. Only the middle part of the hair is touching the bumper. So the ends are curled out and only the middle part is in contact with the bumper, which makes it even more incredible that this magical hair, even though the entirety of the hair was not touching the bumper, just a little bit of the hair was touching the bumper with no adhesive, no glue, no tape, no nothing like that, just a small little piece of it, was somehow able to make it through 60 miles of towing in a blizzard with the rain and the sleet and the snow and everything else and the vibrations of the tow truck and being loaded onto the truck and being loaded off the truck and being moved and everything else, man, that this hair, even though it was not in full contact with the vertical panel, somehow made it through it all, and somehow made it here to be photographed. So arguably the photo are the same is actually worse. Either way, it's not ideal for the state's case.